I'm Alan Weiss, and this is The Writing on the Wall. Welcome back to Writing on the Wall. This episode is Did You Ever Imagine? Back in 58, Sputnik took flight, scared the hell out of the United States. The Russians had this primitive satellite in flight. And so people were starting to predict, well, we'll get on the ball here. We'll all have what? We'll have jetpacks and we'll fly around individually. We'll have cars that fly. We'll have, autogyros in our garages and so forth. We don't. None of that happened. And we failed to predict the internet. No one predicted the internet, including Al Gore. And so we think we're good at predicting, we miss more than we hit. Dick Tracy, did you ever imagine, in the comics, had a wrist radio in the 1930s that began. And we said, well, that's ridiculous, but now we have an Apple Watch. Tom Brady was the 199th draft pick of the New England Patriots, and he only got into his first game when the quarterback at the time, Drew Bledsoe, got hurt. And now Brady has won 7 Super Bowls. No one is close to that. At 42, he won his last. And as I stand here before you, he's predicted to be the favorite to win the next one next season at 43. Did you ever imagine the overwhelming volume today of U.S. auto sales are SUVs and pickup trucks? Ford has stopped making sedans, and GM says that by 2035, about a decade away, they will make no cars with tailpipe emissions. Now, people talk about how quiet electric cars are. My Rolls is very quiet. I can take that huge beast up right behind someone, and they don't know it's there. The problem is that people crossing streets can't hear me coming. So, probably like the electric cars, I need some kind of false tailpipe emission coming out of there, or some kind of crazy music. Did you ever imagine this? Airbnb, the huge monolithic, very successful hospitality business, was formed by 2 partners, one of whom I've met, who rented out a spare bed because they couldn't make that month's rent. How do you like that? Fred Smith of FedEx, still around, and FedEx is one of my favorite companies, allegedly met one of his very early payrolls by winning a poker game the night before. Did you ever imagine that being online is such a natural thing, and it's supposed to be the equivalent of being plugged into the electric grid? And the statement is, well, we don't put on a lamp and say, I'm going to plug into the electric grid, so why start a computer up and say I'm going online? I will ask you this. What happened to you more often last year? Did your electricity go out or did your Wi-Fi go out? I think I know the answer. Listen, who'd ever imagine? Bridges and tunnel tokens are gone. Remember the tokens we used to toss in the box? Toll collectors are gone. We pump our own gas today. Our smartphones check us into hotels. We don't have to stop at the desk. We've become entombed, isolated by technology. When I used to drive to the Shell station about a half a mile away, I used to talk to Mark, who pumped gas. We'd talk about football. We'd talk about cars. We'd talk about politics. If I needed him to come here to the house with a tow truck, he would. Now he's gone. I think he's in Florida. It's too bad. Self-driving, self-parking cars. 2 of my automobiles self-park. Can you imagine? Scares the hell out of me. Hands-free phones. What's the fun? It's like pre-chewed food. Not to mention the fact that nobody can drive a stick shift anymore. Now, I have a 2016 Corvette Z06. It is 650 horsepower, and it is a 7-speed manual transmission, 7 forward gears. But when I take it to a store, to a restaurant, I leave it outside with the top down, unlocked, and the keys in the cup holder. Nobody can drive a stick. What difference does it make? Did you ever imagine kale would be served as a food to be eaten? Come on. Did you ever imagine that we'd be in a place where there are hardly any World War II veterans left? That's hard to imagine. Did you ever imagine that by one estimate, I don't know how they do this, that when the Tyrannosaurus Rex ruled the world, and ruled the world for 100 million years, whatever it was, they estimate there were at least 250 million Tyrannosaurus Rexes. 250 million Tyrannosaurus Rexes. The entire population of the United States is only about 320 million. Must have been a hell of a place. And by the way, while I'm at it, did you ever imagine Godzilla, one of the all-time favorite monsters, money-making monsters? He's not Japanese, he's American. If you watch the first movie, Godzilla was born in the Marshall Islands, and we own them.